Never trust anyone who doesn't need coffee to wake up. Am I right? See, in North America, first thing in the morning, we'll pop a pod in our Keurig, or maybe we have the timer set on our coffee machine to get that Folgers aroma wafting into our bedroom as we wake up. Here in Japan, a cup of coffee first thing in the morning is a necessity as well. And while some people will brew a cup of joe at home, others will grab one on the go, in a can, from a vending machine. Canned coffee debuted in Japan in the 1960s. The company UCC perfected it. Meanwhile, in the 1970s, the company Poca created the world's first dual temperature vending machine. This allowed the coffee to be iced in the summertime and hot in the wintertime, which is a nice treat when you're waiting for the bus or waiting for the train. You can hold the can in your hands to warm them up. Now, in the last few years, convenience stores have started to eat away at canned coffee's market share with cheaper products that are as good, if not better. Plus, there's pretty much a Starbucks on every corner in Tokyo. All that said, canned coffee is going nowhere. It's in every vending machine you find across the country. The question, though, is it any good? Well, the answer is yes. Today, we're going to do a taste test of some of the more popular brands. All right, we're back inside, and I went to the local Seiyu store, which is the Japanese version of Walmart, and I picked up 8 cans of coffee. Now, 7 of them you would see at vending machines all around Japan. One of them is kind of special. I'll explain why in a moment. But first, let's start with the very first can. This is made by Kirin. It's called Espresso Tea. And on the can it says, "The English custom of taking afternoon tea was invented by the Duchess of Bedford." I'm assuming that inside is espresso and tea mixed together. Usually you see a product called milk tea in a lot of machines, so I'm thinking that's what this is. So I'm going to give it a crack here. And time for a taste. Ooh, that is nice. It's kind of like got the taste of black tea and a little bit of coffee and then milk to finish it off, which you're not expecting the black tea at first. I wasn't sure what I was expecting for tea because a lot of the milk teas are more milk than tea, but that is really nice. The next 3 coffees are all from a company that has a lot of publicity around Japan. It has huge advertising campaigns and is probably one of the most well-known canned coffees. Boss Coffee is everywhere, and while UCC may have started the whole canned coffee game in Japan, Boss has perfected it. And I'm going to start with one of the most popular Boss coffees that I see on the streets everywhere. This is Boss's Cafe au Lait. And I've actually had this before, so the taste of this is no surprise to me. It kind of has that iced latte taste to it. Now, if this was hot, it would be like a hot latte, but it's a little bit sweet, a little bit bitter, and it's kind of like the hallmark of the type of canned coffee that you find in Japan. I really like this one a lot. Next up is Boss's Premium Coffee. See, unlike the Cafe au Lait, which has a bit of a sweetness to it, the Boss Premium Coffee is more like a darker coffee. It's got a little less sweetness to it, and if I had to choose between the two, it would be the Cafe au Lait. Boss makes a variety of canned coffees, and this one also pops up quite a bit all over the place. It is their Rainbow Mountain Blend. And when you take a sip of this one, it has a bit of the sweetness that the Cafe au Lait has, but not as intense. It's definitely not as bitter as the Premium Boss, but it's not as sweet as Cafe au Lait. Next is a coffee that is getting a lot of publicity on TV these days. There are many commercials for it on the trains and on TV shows. It's made by a company called Wanda, and it's called Morning Shot. That's nice. It's very close to the Boss Rainbow Blend. And depending on what the pricing is in the vending machine, these 2 coffees could effectively be twins. And if this one was cheaper, I'd likely go for this one over this one, just because of the fact that it has pretty much the same taste. Everyone is getting in on the canned coffee game in Japan, including Coca-Cola. Their Georgia coffee line is about as extensive as Boss's, and they're being very price competitive. Emerald Mountain Coffee Tastes a lot like the Boss sweet coffees. Only difference is, it's selling for as little as 100 yen in some machines. That's about a 30 yen savings. And for some cost-conscious consumers, it might be the thing that just makes them change to Georgia. Next is a considerably smaller can from pretty much any of the other cans that I got here. Like, look, compared side by side, it's relatively small. It's made by a company called Dido or Dido. I've never been able to actually figure out how they're pronounced. But this is their Demitasse Premium Coffee. And again, it is milk on the inside. There are black coffees available in Japan, but for the most part, because a lot of people like that sweetness or like to kind of offset the bitterness of the coffee, you'll find that most canned coffees have some element of milk to them. Like I mentioned when we started, the first 7 coffees are all available in vending machines everywhere. This 8th coffee isn't. It's made by Walmart. Just like Walmart stores in North America, Seiyu has their own private label brand of products, and canned coffee is no different. I'll be honest, I have never tried their coffee. It's about 20 yen cheaper than the other coffees sitting here on the table, but is it any good? Oh wow, that actually is really good. It's close to the Boss Cafe au lait, which makes sense because it also is a cafe au lait, but while the Boss one is kind of got that almost like a confectioner sugar sweetness, this one has almost like similar taste actually to a Japanese candy called Milky, which is like a milk candy. It's kind of strange how they're very, very close. And like I said, about 20 yen cheaper for this guy, but they're very close in taste. Most of these coffees sell for about 100 to 150 yen at convenience stores and vending machines throughout Tokyo. When you go to one of the department stores, like Seiyu for example, you can usually find them on a deal. The Boss coffees actually were on a special deal where you bought 3 and you got them at a special price. So supermarkets and larger department stores really try and move these products in bigger quantities. But overall, you don't have to go far to find canned coffee in Tokyo, and actually, it's not bad. Hey, that does it for today's taste test of canned coffee in Japan. Don't forget to visit my website, gonjohn.com. There you'll find a whole lot more on my travels, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this one. Time to get one last can of Joe. We'll see you next time.